My name is Sydney Burnham. I'm a recent Terra Nova High School graduate, and my senior year I took AP Environmental Science, taught by my lovely teacher, Miss Gutierrez, sitting at the first table. So this senior year, we conducted a survey among Pacifica residents to gauge their opinion on sea level rise and climate change. So I'm here to share some of those findings with you guys. Okay, so on our survey, our sample size was about 161 people, equal parts consisting primarily of students, teachers, and parents and adults who live in Pacifica. So 81% we found to be concerned with sea level rise. And when asked how concerned these people were, we had about 67% saying that they were moderately to highly concerned with the issue at hand. And when asked a question whether or not they think that sea level rise will affect their lives and the lives of those around them, we found that 52% said that they do believe that sea level rise will affect them, and we also had 36% saying that they do think it will affect them, but just not in their lifetime. So a correlation that we found with the 36% was that those who answered yes, but not my lifetime, tended to be of an older age. So this kind of displayed a generation gap that is growing and dividing the younger generation towards the older generation. Despite this disparity, it is obvious from our findings that people are concerned and are aware of the issue at hand, both being sea level rise and climate change. And it's obvious that people in communities, coastal communities like Pacifica, want to see a change and want to bring a change. Because, to be honest, we are afraid of the effects that climate change are bringing on Pacifica. So living in Pacifica all of my life, I have seen evident changes along the coastline. So on the picture to the far left, these are apartment buildings in Manor, Pacifica along the coastline that are actually falling into the water due to soil erosion. The middle picture and the far right picture are the same beach. That is one of my favorites, closest to my house, but unfortunately due to higher tides, higher sea level rise, and more frequent cliff sides falling actually onto the beach, I'm no longer able to access that beach. As you can see, these pictures were taken a few years apart, and I'm actually not able to get the same angle just because there's no more beach for me to access. This is incredibly sad to me to see because I want to be able to access these beaches like I had in the past, but just due to the evident changes and higher risk of public safety, I'm not able to do that anymore. With apartment buildings falling into the water, sidewalks falling into the water, it makes me and my peers extremely worried for what's in store for Pacifica and what we're going to have to adapt to. This is also why my peers and I are extremely invested in making a change, seeking a solution, but the thing is we can't do it by ourselves. We still need help from you guys in the older generation to get us jump-started on what we need to do to make a change. So that leads me to pose the question of what we need from an older generation. Ultimately, we need guidance from you guys to steer us in the correct direction to effectively make a change. In my opinion, education is going to be the most powerful tool on actually sticking to inspiring the youth to make a change. Just educating the youth on what changes are going to be brought from climate change and what we're going to be facing in our future, I think will have a long-lasting impact on myself and my generation. Most of the projections that we see pertaining to sea level rise and climate change, whether they're in 2080 or 2070, I'm more than likely going to be living through, which is a little bit daunting and scary because I'm going to have to adapt and combat the changes that are going to be brought at hand, and none of them have been looking that pleasing to live through. So I just want you guys to keep me and my generation in mind, because I will be living through the predictions that we're going to be facing, and I'm going to have to adapt. So, with your guys' leadership and your inspiration, the youth is behind your generation, and we're extremely eager to follow in your footsteps, but we still need leadership, we still need guidance to strengthen our own generation and eventually close this generation gap. This way we can work collectively and address sea level rise and climate change as one and most effectively. Your generation has already started a path towards change, and the youth wants to follow. If we look at the progress that you've already made and then the potential that my generation has, just think about how impactful we can be if we worked as one. Hopefully together, if we continue to work and close this generation gap, we can collectively work as one and successfully start making a change and making people more aware.